What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? It's your boy WF Colonel with WF Madden, and we're back again with another Madden tip for you guys. This time, we're going to be talking about the defensive side of the ball. This is a tip that I feel like a lot of people are really going to need, so, I'm giving you guys what you guys want. Some of y'all wanted more defense, so I'm here to give the people what they want to see. Now, the thing that I really want to touch on today is, again, it's early in the year, but a bum tactic on offense that people get away with, and I'm definitely gonna expand upon this tactic pretty soon for you guys. But the idea is, we're talking about how do you stop four verticals, and I feel like this four verticals play out of single back, double, was it single back that was wide open. It's one of the best four verticals plays in the games. As you can get, I think you get the same four verticals play at single back spread, and gun spread gives you the same verticals look as well. But I feel like this is probably the best four verticals that you're gonna see in the game. And a lot of people like to use four verticals for easy offense. Again, I'm gonna expand. I have a whole probably like 20 plays, 20 different setups I like to use off of just this four verticals right here. I'm gonna get into that later, maybe a week or two down the road. But before I even get into that, let me do you guys a favor and show you exactly ways that you can slow down this four verticals offense. Don't say I never did nothing for you guys. Now, I like to do things from a cover three perspective, and we're going to be talking about cover three match as well as cover three sky. So the most basic way to stop four verticals, the typical four verticals that you see right here, is off of cover three match. Now, if you don't know what cover three match is, it converts to pretty much a cover one look when all of these receivers go vertically. Now, cover three match has its own rules to it, its own thorough rules, and I will be making another video detailing specifically everything about cover three match. But just for this scenario, all you need to know is what cover three match does. Well, before we even get started with all of that, let me just show you a typical cover three sky and how people just railroad. They railroad it with four verticals. Look right here. I got a horrible throw right there. I don't know what happened, so I'm gonna line up and do that one more time. So you can pretty much just hit the seams up and down the field with this against a typical cover three sky. As soon they get jammed, they get bumped off the line against a typical cover three sky. And then as soon as they clear the safeties, pretty much if they're even, they're leaving. In my opinion, you can just throw it up the seams for an easy gain, especially to the wide receiver on this left side. And depending on situation, you'll look to go to the tight end that's on this side. But that's pretty much what you're getting. As soon as they get off the bump and get past those initial linebackers and those hooks, it's an easy throw and pitch and catch against cover three. So it's the biggest fear for cover three offenses is dealing with four verticals. So cover three match was pretty much created as a play to handle that. Now, again, this is what the cover three match looks like. It'll convert to man coverage with the X receiver. The corner over top of him will man lock on him. The seam flat will man lock over the Y player. The seam flat on the right side will man lock over A, and the B receiver will be man locked over the corner over top of him will man lock them, and both vertical hooks will just play their vertical hooks role. And if the running back goes to the flats on their side, that vertical hook will take them. So it converts it to a cover one for the most part, and you have that center field safety. So that is the traditional way you would look to stop a four verticals scheme like this. But we're gonna show you, and I'm gonna show you the pitfalls and how you can just make a little change and make it react a little bit better. So you still got that little void from, you're still able to drop the ball in typically against a cover 3 match. I think I said cover 4 match. A cover 3 match. I'm so used to saying cover 4 match, but a cover 3 match. These guys go to man coverage. After his bump, he then trails and goes into man coverage. This hook zone tries to eat the space. The same thing's happening on this side. The little chuck that he goes into man coverage on his guy. This guy's in man coverage. The running back leaks out the backfield. That's why this backer right here takes him. But as you can see, we fit the ball in. So what do you do to handle this, to make it a tougher throw if you want to stick with a cover 3 match defense? If you're really afraid of that 4 verticals, you bring the safety down, and what I do is I put him towards the faster guy. Like, I'll put him in this situation right here. I'll move him a little bit towards like this hash area. Just have him cheat towards the faster receiver, and I brought him down so it shrinks the space a bit. Then I will user this linebacker right here in the hook, and I'll take away the vert from Hooper. But then you just have to rally on the underneath throw as well. But we're just gonna take a look and see what happens with the throw to Julio. Even though he has his X factor, we'll just see how the space has changed. That space was eaten up. The hole was eaten up completely. So if you want to look to slow down for verts, the first way is cover 3 match, bring the safety down and rotate him to the side of the faster guy. See, he's playing up this left seam even more. He's closer. So no matter what happens with Julio, if they loft the ball, in the corner over here, in this area right here, you still have a guy that's cheating to this side in a way. And you have a guy that's, playing pretty decently. And his only goal right here is to shrink the space. His only goal is to shrink the space. He's not going to stop the throw up the seams. He's not going to. Especially if you have a good guy and it's a properly placed throw, he's not going to stop it. So what you're looking for is to shrink the space with this safety right here, with his pre-snap alignment. That's the reason why I brought him down in this area right here. So we ended up getting he ended up getting the interception right here, but more times than not, he'll end up getting a tipped ball if they do decide to throw it, which it's a bad throw because there's a lot of guys in the area anyway. There's nowhere for Julio to even make this catch, and you have the corner right here, converting as well. But like I said, you'll be looking to user this linebacker on the backside because you're trusting your alignment right here from the safety and the seam flat on the front side. So on the backside, you want to user this guy and just shrink the gap even more. You want to shrink it right here because it's a slower, this is a tight end, and even if it's a wide receiver, you're just looking to help out your safety again by user covering and shrinking the gap with your linebacker right here. The idea is you want them to throw underneath. You just want them to throw underneath, because I've scored so many touchdowns with in Mutt with Marquise Goodwin, 87 speed, just up here. Like, I've scored more touchdowns with him passing with this play than any other play, hands down. It's a cakewalk. So you want the safety here, you want the safety really cheating it here, and then you want to protect the backside yourself. So that's how you would look to do it in a cover 3 match type defense. So if you want to play a cover 3, wrong controller, so I went back to 4 verts. So if you want to play a cover 3 sky, again, you've already seen what happens when you just straight up run cover 3 sky. So if you want to run cover 3 sky as a whole, you want to put this guy again in a seam flat if you are afraid of the 4 verts. You can really execute the same principles, but on the backside, you're not getting help. If you run this setup, you're not getting help. So you have to either control this linebacker right here and run up the seam and shrink the gap, or you have to user control read and you're playing up the gap. You're playing up the gap here and you're slow to leak out to work to outside. So I can't necessarily simulate that. I can't simulate, you know, the user cover on the backside. I can't do it. So just for that, I just man him up. But you just know that these are the guys that you're really looking for if you want to run it like this. Or you can keep the safety in the middle of the field, or cheat him to the right side, and so you know, cheat him to the right side to take away this tight end right here. You can seam flat up here, but you know you have to control this linebacker right here, and you're shrinking the gap on the front side. So you just have to understand where you're going to be weak, and where are your assets at when you run a defense like this. So I really like to manually put this seam flat on the side to the wide receiver. Now the thing, if you manually come out in a cover 3 sky like this, you cannot put this player right here in a seam flat. There's no assignment to put him in a seam flat. So if you want him in a seam flat, you have to come out in a cover 3 match. But if you're like me and you just want to come out in cover 3 sky, you have to understand you have to cheat the coverage towards him, and then you can put this guy in a seam flat, and then you just play the hole with this linebacker right here up the seam. Now let's go to another way that you can do it. If you just want to get real ignorant with this, really ignorant with how you want to play this, and try to bait throws and lock down the opponents, you can get real glitchy. Well, it's not a glitch, but real adjusty is a better word, and man cover these guys. Put these guys in a man coverage, and then you can user this safety. So pretty much with the safety, you're just looking to see, okay, make sure these guys aren't getting beat deep up the seams for the most part, and then you're not paying any attention to anything else. You're just converging and playing center field. You're playing Ed Reed. You're covering the entire field, knowing that, okay, I got my curl flats covered, so really the outside's covered, is handled. Or you can put cloud flats if you're scared of them running this route combo right here, which is a favorite of mine. For an example, I'll show you how to cloud flats. They stop those deep outs right there, sitting on the deep outs. So that's a fan favorite thing to do, to just pair with the 4 verticals. And I just showed the whole play because it's very common. You'll see seams and then you'll see deep outs paired with them. You got the cloud flats, which are going to take the deep outs, and you got the man covered linebackers. He's on Julio Jones. He's not expected to cover Julio Jones, guys. He's not. But you do have cornerback help in this instance, so he isn't just completely left on an island. Same thing on this backside. Now you have a linebacker covering a tight end. He is expected, for the most part, to handle this. But you still have cornerback help as well if they want to run the same concept on the backside as well. And you still have the center field safety, which if you see 4 verticals, you'll be it would behoove you to drop back deep. But just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to show you, okay, same setup on offense. I'm just going to show you what would happen if we just left those linebackers there. Linebackers and corners to feast for themselves. Now I'm just going to put this guy in a QB spy. So we'll just see what happens, how these guys fare. I mean, that's Julio Jones. That's Julio freaking Jones right there, guys. But guess what? Our linebacker did a pretty decent job. Nah, I didn't put him in a cloud flat, did I? Nah, I didn't put him in a cloud flat. My bad, guys. Let me put him in a cloud flat. Cause I don't want to, gas this up and be like, I lied to you guys. I'm going to put these guys in cloud flats. Same setup. I'm going to put QB spy here. So we'll see how these linebackers fare. For whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, I know why, but Julio cut across the field, but because he's on an option route, so he was gonna do that anyway. But I just threw to this other tight end to just show you, okay, he isn't outmatched by this linebacker isn't outmatched by a tight end, and as you see over here before the cut, he was kind of running pretty decently with Julio. Obviously, he isn't gonna lock everything down with Julio, but if the throw goes on to the outside and it's an errant throw, it opens the door for this corner to make a play. But obviously, you're gonna be on this safety playing deep center field, so it kind of neutralizes that type of offense as well. So let's just take a look at different things you can do. So it just depends on what you're afraid of the opponent doing, pairing with the verticals play. Because we already know how deadly verticals can be. So, for an instance, if you're really afraid of other things going on, you can say, okay, I want this safety playing Julio across the middle. We'll put my corners in deep halves. And then guess what? I myself will cover this right seam. What this does right here is you have the curl flats, the cloud flats, they will take away the potential deep outs. The potential deep outs that you would get from the outside receivers, like I talked about earlier. You got, the corners, they're helping on the inside with the seam routes, which I'm going to show you in a second. And this the safety that's manned up on Julio Jones, he's really just there to just make it cloudy, make it mucky. Same thing with that linebacker to that side of Julio Jones, the wide receiver. He's just there to really make it mucky. So Julio shouldn't really have a place to go. And also up the seam, he still should be handled as well. Luke Kuechly, again, your assignment is pretty much just to drop back deep and to run with the tight end on the right side. And if Julio does his option route break across the middle of the field, you'll be able to see that when your user covering Luke Kuechly, and you'll be able to break on that if it needs to be broken on. So just for an example, I put Kuechly on a man coverage to simulate you man covering that safety. That tight end. But like I said, this setup is very easy. All you really have to do is, as soon as you break the huddle and you see the formation, well, you know the formation before you even call your play because it's on your play call screen. You literally just, first thing I would do is get the cloud flats ready if I wanted this setup. Next thing I would do is I would do the deep halves for the corners, which is very quick to do. Then you can just scroll over to the safety right here and then man up. Very easy to do. You should be able to get that done very easily within the time allotted for you. So let's just take a look and see how these guys fare. I'm just going to hold on to the ball and we're going to look at the coverage on the replay. So we saw Julio did end up making a break for his option route, which a lot of people, I didn't mention this earlier, a lot of people just get rid of that option route and just put him on a seam. But I personally leave the option route because it's a nice little twist to it. So you got the cloud flats take away any potential deep outs. So that's something for you to rest on and know that, okay, these out routes are handled. This linebacker right here is doing his best to close the window. And let's say Julio goes straight up the field. The safety is in perfect position to play him straight up the field, but he ends up breaking. But he would be an obvious throw if the situation was handled. But guess what? If you were user controlling this linebacker, you would be seeing all of that, and you could peel off and then make a play on Julio Jones if that was the throw. Because it's an easy play to make on defense if you're user controlling this guy right here. So just for an example, I know I keep on saying that, but I'm going to put Julio Jones on the seam instead of, having him on that option. So, but the setup for the same exact setups is very easy. Down, Y up gives you cloud flats. Y, X on the right on the thumbstick gives you a deep half. Same thing for B. And then you would just go up here, man cover. Then you would use this guy and play the A tight end. But simulation purposes, I'm putting a man up. Again, I just put Julio Jones on the seam, snap the ball, and we'll see if we can throw the ball to him. That's exactly what you want. You want it mucked up early, and it's mucked up late as well. It was mucked up early by this guy right here. They can't automatically throw it. You see the safety converging. They can't throw it, can't throw it, can't throw it. Okay, they see the man up on the safety. They think they got an opportunity. Guess what? They don't, because this corner in his deep half, he's playing deeper than he normally would in a deep third. So that throw has to be literally perfect over the middle. But that's safe. Well, both of these guys are actually close enough to get a swat on the ball, tipping it back to Kuechly. So you can't get the ball to Julio. You're man covering this route yourself. You got the cloud flats over here potentially playing deep outs. You just rally on everything underneath. The whole idea when you're playing against 4 vertical offense is to make them throw underneath and rally. You don't want that big play given up. So hopefully you cover 3 users like myself can, take something from this and just stop an easy 4 verticals play. You shouldn't be, honestly, this has been my play that I've been getting easy yardage with. This 4 verticals play right here. It's easy yardage, guys. I want you to stop me. Stop me, and I've just taught you how to stop me. So hopefully this stuff has helped you out in slowing down 4 verticals users from spread formations. It's WF. I'm out.